Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Keep It Real. I came on to do a video of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It's an Apple Plus television show that was, I don't know, the way they advertised it was supposed to be like a Godzilla beginnings, like a introduction to how Godzilla existed and stuff like that, but it's not. The very first episode starts off with John Goodman's character from Skull Island. He played Bill Randa. That was kind of cool because they tried to tie the whole universe together. The only problem with that is that I'm not sure people cared about Bill Randa's character because obviously if you guys watched Kong Skull Island, he's John Goodman. He got eaten by one of the monsters later in the movie, and you really don't even care too much about it because you're really watching the whole movie for Kong and fighting other monsters. And in Skull Island, that's where Bill Randa leaves a message for his son with videotapes and some background stuff on Monarch and all this, information that he could help him start his legacy. Because Bill Randa knew he was going to die, so he wanted to leave a legacy for his son. The son eventually gets hold of the information and the videotape that the father sends him, and then he goes off and works for Monarch and tries to improve on Monarch, I guess. Then this is where the show starts getting a little crazy. It made it work, but they started jumping from 1950s to 2015, back and forth throughout the whole, until they reached the last episode. They finally stopped jumping from the past to the present, which drove me a little bonkers because you wanted a payoff. In the 1950s, I thought the show should have been called The Legacy of Monarch, not Legacy of Monsters, because they didn't show how the monsters came about. They showed how Monarch started, which I'm not sure anyone really cared about that. Bill Randa, now as a young man, working with his two partners. One is a Japanese woman who becomes his wife, and then the kid that the older Bill Randa sends to with John Goodman's role was for their kid. So they jump all the way to the past, and a character named Lee Shaw, which is played by Wyatt Russell, which is kind of cool because they jump to the present day and Kurt Russell is playing that same character. Bill Randa's son is Hiroshi, and he grows up obviously losing, he has his father. His father is really just his stepfather because that's John Goodman's character. He grows up with him, who supposedly didn't really take care of him much since he was off doing Monarch stuff. With that said, Hiroshi grows up. Now it's 2015. This is after G-Day, what they call G-Day. Godzilla attacked on 2014, so now it's 2015. Hiroshi is going around trying to... They don't even tell you exactly what he's going around doing. I don't even know what he was doing. He was just lost out there doing Monarch stuff, trying to find the rifts in the world. I'll get to the rifts in a minute. Then we discover, out of the blue, Hiroshi has two lives. He has a wife and a child in Japan. He has a wife and a child in America, in San Francisco. They have a whole storyline. I didn't care. These storylines, they try to tie everything together to find one person. That's Lee Shaw again, which is the Kurt Russell character. The whole premise of the show is to find the Hollow Earth. They talked about the Hollow Earth briefly in Godzilla King of the Monsters. They talked about the Hollow Earth really a lot in King Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong. This whole television show, the premise is to discover the Hollow Earth. I don't know about you guys, but for me, all they had to do was just say that there was Hollow Earth, and I was fine with it. They did not go to Hollow Earth and, like in episode 2 and just start the whole show from there and just, showing everything going on with the Hollow Earth. It's all about, the whole show was like a soap opera of, oh, how did my father start a family in San Francisco? Oh, how did you have another family in Japan? Who cares? It was a soap opera type of show with a very, very few scenes of monsters. And this show is called Monarch Legacy of Monsters. They hardly show any monsters. They hardly show anything about Monarch. They didn't show the. They show the beginnings of Monarch and what their purpose was. The Monarch's purpose was to, find and discover Titans. This was not a show that was necessary. I'm not sure anyone asked for it or anyone wanted it. Don't get me wrong. The acting in this show was pretty damn good. Everybody did their good job. Did a very good job. A couple of actors here and there, they were like a little over the top. I'm not sure if they're gonna have a season 2. I think they will because they left it at a point where you're questioning some things about it, but not to the point where I even care for it. I'm not sure anyone cares about Monarch the way they depict it here. I'm not sure people cared about Hollow Earth the way they depict it here. They'd only show the Hollow Earth in one episode, really. They didn't really get into how it came about, what's it all about, what the monsters do down there, which is what I would care about if they had a show called Monarch, the Hollow Earth, something like that. That would be cool. You'll see everything down in the Hollow Earth, what's going on down there. But they didn't do that. They talked about the drama between the son having 2 families. He had, and then the two children were looking for him since he disappeared doing whatever, and the payoff was, we don't know what he was doing in the end anyway. But besides that, who cared? Who cares about these 2 people? They get themselves into trouble, basically. It doesn't. I know they create characters and storylines to push the story along. It pushed the story along, but they pushed the story along to a point where I don't feel like I cared. I cared to see, if I'm watching anything to do with Godzilla, I want to see, like the olden days, you want to see Godzilla fighting monsters. I want to see King Kong fighting monsters. In the very last episode, in the very last scene, they're in Skull Island. The time at that point in time is 2017. We see Kong. It was supposed to be a big payoff scene. Big spoiler. It's not. It's not a payoff. We know if you're on Skull Island, Kong is there. He's fully grown. He has his little beard going on. You threw that in there in the last second, and it had no payoff. For me, it had no payoff. I read all the critics' reviews, and they loved the show. Everything was, and like 26 critics are reviewing, and they said they loved the show. What are they watching for? They're watching for the acting. The acting is awesome. They did a great job. They got good actors. But as a show for monsters and the Monsterverse, it did nothing. It did nothing for me. It may have helped, since they introduced the Hollow Earth more, they could start, because I heard in March, I think, is when Kong X Godzilla or Godzilla X Kong is coming out. And once again, we're going to have, monsters fighting monsters again with the world in the Hollow Earth, because Kong now lives in the Hollow Earth. If this was a prelude to it, or to introduce more of the Hollow Earth, it didn't do it, because they were not in the Hollow Earth long enough. They kept on focusing on the humans. So I don't know where this show was trying to take me. I thought it was cool to see a younger Godzilla pop up here and there every once in a while. But there were so many episodes where all you saw was the drama between the, whether it was in the past, in the 1950s, or in their present, in 2015. I'll be honest, I passed out a couple of episodes here and there. I had to rewatch it. But it was so... Well, I actually enjoyed it, but I can't give it a great review. Obviously, from my review, you can tell I'm not giving it... If I give it a best out of 10, I give it a 5. Best out of 5, I give it a 2.5. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just there. It didn't give me any new insight on the Monsterverse. It didn't give me any reason why the movies are connected to what I was seeing, besides Godzilla appeared here and there. It didn't tie in anything. It needed to show more Hollow Earth, because the next movie is coming out in 2 months from now, and it has everything to do with the Hollow Earth. That's my review of Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters. It was called Monarch. It should be just called The Legacy of Monarch, because it just showed basically the beginnings of Monarch. I'm not sure anyone really cared about it because they didn't do much. They really didn't do much. They tried a lot. They created drama. I don't like created dramas, and it's just because when you try to create drama, you could tell it's forced. And there's so many forced situations in this show. So with that said, let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment down below. Give us a like. Thanks a lot. See you later. See you later. Bye bye.